A recent report is citing seasonal stress factors such as traffic, increased spending or debt, and alcohol consumption as causes for higher rates of domestic violence. Here to explain the correlation and what can be done to try to bring these rates down is Mary Riedel. She is the president of Women in Distress, and thanks very much for joining us. This is a seasonal problem, and I'm told New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the most dangerous times for domestic violence during the entire year.
Yes, it's true. Domestic violence overall is a pervasive problem in our society. I mean, it's estimated that 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men, and 1 in 10 teens will experience domestic violence or intimate partner violence at some time in their life. So you think about it, those are pretty stunning numbers, and then you add on stress of holiday time. But yes, the New Year's Eve and coming into New Year's Day, statistics say that the incidence of domestic violence is double.
Why is that? Alcohol consumption has a lot to do with it?
A lot. I mean, there's this culmination of the holidays. Alcohol consumption certainly figures into it. People want to think, you know, sometimes these holiday times people want to think it's perfect, new beginning, everything is rosy, and that isn't the case, and particularly when there's underlying domestic violence issues going on in the household.
Can people be preemptive? Being forewarned is forearmed. So if they know that during the holiday seasons there's more opportunities for domestic violence, what can people do right now?
Well, part of it is being aware. I mean, not only for the individual, but for all of us as citizens and members of the community to recognize the signs of abuse that may be going on. And abuse can take many forms. I mean, we think of the physical abuse, but it can be verbal, emotional, sexual, financial abuse, so all of those things. But as each of us is more aware of what those signs are, as a person, you know, certainly we think of someone having physical signs of abuse, but it can be someone who's very withdrawn, quiet, changes in their patterns, someone who is a very controlling victim of a very controlling situation. So I think it's that awareness. But for a victim or a potential victim, the holidays are a very complex time because obviously there's this aura of people want to create a perfect Thanksgiving or perfect winter holidays or
that's
perfect
always the expectation,
Hanukkah
right?
Or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever people celebrate, and often try to hold it together, particularly in family situations for family reasons. And that doesn't often play out that way.
Let's take a look at a few surprising statistics. Some might be surprising, some might not. But these are things that happen on an ongoing basis. 37% of the fatal cases, family members, friends, coworkers, and others were aware of the violence. So people knew something was going on here. What should people do when they know something like abuse is going on?
You know, these can be very dangerous situations, not only for adults, but for the children and for people in the household. They could be the grandparents, could be other members of the household. We always advise people, be aware of the signs, but if there's, and to get involved, to not risk their own safety, but to not stand by silently, call 911, call law enforcement. We have great partners in law enforcement. The laws with domestic violence and stalking and related issues have been strengthened here in Florida in recent years, and law enforcement has taken these things very seriously. So
and you need to identify it at a younger age too, and some work is being done to make sure that as little as toddlers and kids, that something's identified there too.
And family violence is a huge issue for children. I mean, for example, Women in Distress, half of all the people we see are children, and we have, but the research is telling us now that children even as young as toddlers or those who may not be able to articulate, it does affect their brain development.
All right, Mary Riedel, our guest this hour. I'm Spiro Canton for Newsmakers. Thanks for joining us.